Thing you long believed to be true but realized wasn't.
Well, as one of the main opponents of the Illuminati, I always wanted to know what information they had that we didn't.
Now we finally have an update on the drowning death of Malcolm Jamal Warner. Now, according to ABC7, they stated that Malcolm Jamal Warner had drowned while he was on vacation in Costa Rica. Now, the article goes on to say that Warner had drowned off the coast of Costa Rica on Sunday.
Life, it's fragile, and in the blink of an eye,
You never know.
you never know. So speaking of legacy, what do you hope that your legacy is going to be?
There is part of me that I will be able to leave this earth, knowing and people knowing that I was a good person.
For years, Katt Williams has warned that Hollywood has a cruel way of excluding anyone who doesn't follow their norms, particularly if you're a prominent black man. And those warnings start to sound different when you examine them closely. Malcolm had no desire for flimsy celebrity. He declined parts that made black males appear unimportant. Furthermore, he never engaged in the degrading practice of dressing up and acting silly that the industry loves to promote. Hollywood pushed him to the sidelines as a result. It wasn't that he was untalented. In fact, his abilities were indisputable.
Spent, so much of the early part of my life listening to, being celebrated on one hand, but paying way too much attention to the naysayers.
Merely because he was out of line. The crazy part comes next. Now that he's gone, all major media outlets and well-known celebrities are praising him, saturating timelines with admiration, and claiming that he was greatly underestimated. But wait, where had all that energy gone when he was still here, working and making things the way he wanted? When he could smell the blossoms, where were they? Unfortunately, these aren't just idle conspiracy theories. It's about recurring patterns that are easily observed. The sneaky way the industry treats anyone who dares to refuse to play the clown role has been exposed by Katt Williams, who has been yelling about this for centuries. Let's get started. What has Katt been revealing exactly? In reality, what did Malcolm stand for? And why didn't the industry give him the recognition he so richly earned until after his passing?
First things we saw when we pulled up to the beach, signs in Spanish and English warning people about potentially hazardous conditions. This sign even giving a roadmap for how to escape a rip current.
On July 20th, 2025, Malcolm Jamal Warner, who we all know as Theo Huxtable from The Cosby Show, sadly passed away. And the specifics are devastating. When tragedy happened, Malcolm and his 8-year-old daughter were enjoying the ocean while on a family vacation in Limon, Costa Rica. They were both dragged under by a lethal rip current. Lifeguards are rarely on duty along this section of beach, which is notorious for its hazardous seas. Due to a series of previous events, resources had been moved to other beaches that day, leaving this one totally unguarded. According to witnesses, surfers in the area saw the father and daughter battling the waves. While one courageous surfer risked everything to pursue Malcolm, another was able to save Malcolm's young daughter. However, it was already too late when emergency personnel raced to the scene. When attempts at resuscitation failed, Malcolm's life was lost.
Beach, where officials say a dangerous rip current swept away Malcolm Jamal Warner, the Cosby Show star, drowning in secluded paradise on Sunday. What makes that beach so treacherous?
It's similar to other beaches where there are strong rip currents that are deceiving.
Mike Geist helps run a volunteer lifeguard organization here. He says while no lifeguards were on duty that day, Geist's friend, who happens to be a trained lifeguard, was there to surf and discovered Warner unresponsive in the water. Costa Rica's Red Cross says they were able to rescue another man alive who was taken to a clinic in critical condition.
Rica, Jesse, officials say Warner's autopsy is now complete.
It was completed this morning, according to authorities, Tom, and they say that it confirmed that Warner's drowning death was, in fact, an accident.
His cause of death, asphyxia from drowning, was subsequently verified by his official autopsy. Even the surfer who made the attempt to save him ended up very ill in the hospital. And for that reason, this loss was so devastating. Malcolm wasn't your average child star from Hollywood. He didn't spiral. He didn't sell out. He forged his own way and maintained his dignity without ever sacrificing who He was. His life being cut short in such a tragic tragedy has deeply shocked both Hollywood and his followers. Malcolm was more than just a performer. He served as the model for success, a self-made multimillionaire, a Grammy-winning musician, an Emmy-nominated actor, a filmmaker, a poet, and even a well-known social crusader. In addition to all of that, he had a stable, dramatic family life, something that Hollywood hardly ever depicts these days.
So even before conception, we were very clear we were having a girl. And I knew that I needed a girl first to kind of ease me into it, because I have a pretty good idea of what kind of father I would be. Mm-hmm. So I needed a girl to kind of, slow me down and warm, soften me up, if you will. So for me, raising my daughter, I came into fatherhood already with a certain maturity and certain understanding of male-female dynamics. And with a girl, all of that starts with the father. So I've always, since I literally pulled her out of my wife.
One marriage, no divorce, no nasty, scandals, and no unwed children. He stood tall as a guy who lived up to his teachings, a loving husband and father. As anyone who worked with Malcolm will tell you, he was adored, appreciated, and respected by everyone. He lived his life as a self-assured individual who was aware of his value and did not fall for Hollywood's ploys. Then, while on a dream vacation in actual paradise with his family, he unexpectedly passes away at the age of 54 in a tragic accident. It is an intolerable tragedy. Malcolm, however, did more than simply survive. He flourished. He left behind a model of what it means to live a morally upright and elegant life. This is the bit, though, that nobody wants to discuss. He was shunned by Hollywood during his lifetime. Katt Williams has been screaming about this for a long time, and now his statements exactly match Malcolm's account. Malcolm didn't fall off, you see. He just wouldn't play the nasty little game of Hollywood. He could have easily made money with loud sitcoms, slapstick parts, and big-budget comedies after The Cosby Show. Rather, he remained honest, subtle, and purposeful.
Has never been a person that has been parodied 9 times on Saturday Night Live and yet never been invited other than me. I, at this point, take it as a badge of honor that they don't fuck with me. A lot of times when people are doing an impression of you, they're really showing you how they feel about you. You know what I mean? So for Saturday Night Live to have an impression of me and have a woman do that means they think I'm a bitch. And I understand that that's what they're saying when they do that. I understand how the game goes, and I understand that if you love me, I know why you do. And if you don't with me, I understand why.
2. He flatly disapproved of parts that made black guys appear unintelligent. No clown performances, no wigs, and no awkward stereotypes. He aspired to embody something more profound and genuine. And that's precisely where Katt Williams enters the picture. For years, he has been yelling on stages, in interviews, and on podcasts about how black entertainers are confined. Play the part or get pushed aside, Hollywood urges them. And despite the possibility of being marginalized, Malcolm made the decision to stand tall.
Title is combating the narrative of black life, black culture that the media focuses on, and
that we're all one thing.
Yeah, and the whole concept is, we're not all hood. The black community is not a monolith.
Katt Williams refused to participate in the same degrading roles, loud antics, outfits, and wigs. What action did Hollywood take? They called him untrustworthy, crazy, and tough. That's the penalty for not acting like a clown for the cameras. The same wall faced Malcolm Jamal Warner. He was intelligent, talented, and well-behaved. However, he was benched since he didn't fit Hollywood's mold and wouldn't mon himself out for cheap laughs. Here's the problem, though. Malcolm didn't worry about becoming accepted by Hollywood. He made his own way by starting a podcast called Not All Hood, in which he openly criticized the way that black people are portrayed in the media as a single, flat monolith. Malcolm was that person, never afraid, constantly seeking the truth.
Be a moratorium on both of those words in hip hop because it's low-lying fruit. It's so easy. Everybody fucking does it to the point that it's corny. Like there are MCs who I love, who I cannot listen to anymore because I love J. Cole. But I had to stop listening to J. Cole because I got tired of hearing nigga and bitch
as much
every 2 sentences because he's proven himself to be such a incredible lyricist
that you think it's just too low-hanging fruit for him to use those words.
Malcolm, in my opinion, put his efforts into projects that had actual weight, rather than submitting. He acted in and produced documentaries and plays addressing social justice, systematic racism, and Black history. He had no desire for meaningless fame. He was purposefully creating a legacy. Malcolm rattled the table in 2021 by calling it out in a straightforward opinion piece for the Television Academy. The way that Black people are portrayed on television is still controlled by white network executives, white producers, and white directors. The stereotypes do not go away, he argued, even if those gate hinges are slightly loosened and Black creatives are given the appearance of control. They simply dress up and get paid more for their fancy employment. Nicer packaging, same poison, Malcolm continued after that. He even called out misogyny, toxic masculinity, and the current situation of hip-hop and rap, demanding accountability.
Which, they talk about how much they hate each other and give all these references to violence and that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Do you think, even though we enjoy those songs and they're bops, do you think that has a detrimental impact upon the culture ultimately?
Ultimately, yes. It's been normalized for, us to call ourselves the N-word, right? And we like to talk about how we've taken the power of that word back. But I'm of the school of thought. If I'm trying to speak love and upliftment to my brother, why am I going to borrow a word from people who use the word because they hate me? But we get caught up in, we're turning the N-word into a positive. But our music is not reflecting positivity, love, and upliftment of our culture. And we're at a point now where so much of especially our music, so much of our Black music, when you strip away the music and just listen to the lyrics, so much of our Black music is really anti-Black.
Oh, you think so?
When you think about it, you almost cannot have hip hop without talking about drugs, using the N-word, and murking somebody. Right. Or calling a female, a bitch or a hoe. Like that's become we've normalized that so much that I think we need a space where we can say, wait a minute, that's not all who we are.
Malcolm pushed for community reconciliation and respect, while others remained silent to safeguard their careers. Hollywood detested him because he didn't hesitate to speak what everyone else was whispering. According to Katt Williams, the industry only elevates you if it has control over your image. Malcolm. The story of Jamal Warner is the ideal illustration. Malcolm aimed to portray Black men as multifaceted, clever, and completely human. The machine wanted to keep him in that teenage heartthrob box forever, or worse, clowning in ridiculous side roles that robbed him of all dignity, not just jokes, or background filler. Malcolm resisted. He declined parts that would have greatly increased his fame, but decreased his respect. Many other Black actors in his time, on the other hand, became well known by doing the exact opposite, playing caricatures, chasing the big checks, and relying on stale stereotypes. Indeed, some one of them made it famous. Malcolm, however, was not formed that way and would not part with his soul for the scraps of Hollywood. And there was a price for it. Malcolm even acknowledged in interviews that he was informed by his own staff that he was too serious and unmarketable. Translation: too Black, too intelligent, and too morally upright for their purposes. And the calls stopped coming once he refused to play the fool. They obliterate you if you refuse to submit to the humiliation rites, as Katt Williams has been yelling for years. Here's the awful irony, though. Hollywood is rushing to post homage to Malcolm now that he's gone. He's a legend now. He is a pioneer now. He is now being showered with flowers he will never see from the same machine that abandoned him. Social media posts, slick stories, and sincere homages. But when he was living, where was all this love? And continuing to struggle for visibility. The major platforms and award shows largely pretended that Malcolm didn't exist since he refused to fall for Hollywood's tricks or pursue meaningless fame. However, all of a sudden, streaming sites are promoting unpublished projects that are associated with his name. Celebrities are saturating social media with heartfelt tweets and narratives, while networks are releasing glitzy tributes. He has become a safe Black icon that they can all support overnight. The playbook for the industry is right there. They don't commend you for maintaining your integrity, standing your ground, or being honest while you're still here. They repackage your image for brand building after they've made sure it's safe to do so, and you've left.
How people feel about the ritual. It's about just following the ritual work.
Yeah.
And so you can fool yourself into thinking there isn't one, but the evidence will be clear. So like when I be like, oh, these guys are wearing dresses. Everybody's like, oh, he keeps talking about people wearing dresses. No, it's not.
That is a weird thing.
It's not like that. Look at it from a different way. Look at it. Show me one person that ever wore a dress in Hollywood unsuccessfully.
This was pointed out years ago by Katt Williams. Black talent is only recognized by the system when it aligns with the narrative and when the individual is no longer available to resist. Thus, consider if we are witnessing true reverence for Malcolm Jamal Warner or merely another post-event. Hollywood, tidy up. In actuality, Malcolm became a target because he refused to sell out. He was ignored, marginalized, and erased. He refused to compromise his values, not because he was untalented. Malcolm was no ordinary celebrity. He was uncommon, sensible, grounded, and dedicated to his principles in a field that consistently rewards the contrary. His untimely demise is more than a personal tragedy. It serves as a terrifying reminder of how infrequently one may witness someone in Hollywood act with true integrity. It's up to you now, though. Do you believe Malcolm's refusal to comply led to his dismissal? And why does the industry never seem to care until someone dies? Leave a comment below with your opinions. Press the like button, tell your friends about this video, and remember to subscribe so you don't miss the next one.